In fact, she, in many cases, our rules of court is suppletory to the rules of impeachment in the House. And so therefore, this representation believes that first, they are entitled, counsels for both sides are entitled to send questions, and I agree with that, Madam Chair. But what I would like to emphasize is that the Vice President can always designate their counsel to appear in all the proceedings so that we should be able to state there that the right to counsel, the right to be heard by herself or counsel is assured by the Constitution. But we know the response of the proponent of the motion as to that particular observation.
If I may confirm, the Honorable Rodriguez, you would like the committee to acknowledge the right of the counsel even in the absence of the respondent.
That's correct. Based on jurisprudence, Madam Chair, that although this is not a criminal proceeding, it is akin to a criminal case because we are trying to remove and there is also perpetual disqualification. And so, in other words, the Vice President can send her counsels here to appear for her. In fact, the right to self-incrimination is there. And a person who is now being investigated has the right to already not take the stand or at the time she wants to appear to be able to invoke it when she is asked an incriminatory question. So that is the position of this council. Thank you.
Vice Chair Dumogan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree if that is on the presentation of the complaints evidence. But at the time the respondent will be presenting her evidence, she must be present because who will answer clarificatory questions in cross-examinations of what will be presented? She is the only one. The counsel are not witnesses in this particular case. So I hope my colleague will agree that at the time the respondent is given the opportunity to present her evidence, she must be present. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Would you like to clarify the extent of the participation that you are proposing?
Yes, Madam Chair. What I am proposing is, at the time that we have concluded the presentation of the evidence of the complainants, and it will be the turn of the respondents, then the respondents or her witnesses must be present because they are the only ones who can answer clarificatory questions or cross-examination questions of any of the members of this committee. The lawyers of the respondents are not witnesses to the said defense of the respondent. So it is a must, Madam Chair, that she must be present unless she will waive the presentation of her evidence when it is her time to present her evidence pursuant to our rules of impeachment, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, the right against self-incrimination is very clear. Under our rules, the criminal procedure rules, which are suppletory, because our rules are very, very, very pithy in terms of the procedure. 2 points, Madam Chair. The respondent has the right not to appear, and therefore she does not need to be present, because that is the right of a respondent, akin to a accused in a criminal case, as decided in the cases, Madam Chair. That's number one. Number two, the counsels here are not only to advise on the legal rights, they have the right to cross-examine, because the Vice President will not be present. If she's present, she cannot cross-examine witnesses. because she has lawyers. So therefore, 2 points. The rule that requires that lawyers can only, the participation is only to advise the legal rights of the witness is on the rules on the investigation in aid of legislation. That is expressly found in the rules in aid of legislation, the hearings. But it is not found in our rules. I've been reading our rules of procedure. There's nothing here that limits it to only advising. Therefore, in an adversary proceeding like this, we have to therefore hear the counsels if they wish to be present, but if not, then that is also the lookout of the respondent. But I believe that we should be clear in our rules that the presence of counsel of the respondent has the right to cross-examine directly the witnesses for the complainants. And secondly, there is no need for the Vice President to appear in hearing because that is her right not to be able to appear, and we can make conclusions out of her non-appearance. No need for her to appear. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Vice Chair Dumogan.
the first part of the point had already been settled. Under our own rules, which is the subject of the motion, the counsel of the respondents are allowed to cross-examine by writing their questions, submitting it to the chair. What I am pointing out, Madam Chair, is at the time the respondent is given the opportunity to present her evidence. Well, counsel may present her evidence, but she must be present, or the witnesses that she is presenting must be present so that the members of the committee will have the chance to examine or ask clarificatory questions from them. The counsels are not witnesses to the defense of the respondents, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, let me read what is provided under our rules, the rules of procedure in impeachment proceeding. Under Section 7, it provides that if the committee finds that there is sufficient ground for impeachment exists, the committee shall conduct a hearing, which we are now doing. The committee, through the chairperson, may limit the period of examination and cross-examination by members of the committee. Therefore, Madam Chair, it is very clear under our rules that it is only the members of the committee who can participate with respect to the examination and cross-examination of the members. Why? Because, like what you said a while ago, this is akin to the preliminary investigation wherein it is the investigating officer or the investigating city prosecutor who is asking clarificatory questions. We are not yet in the trial where the lawyers or counsel of the defendant can cross-examine the witnesses. Now, this can also be, we can also be guided by our rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation, which the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez mentioned a while ago, that under Section 13, appearance of counsel, here, the participation of counsel for witness during the hearing and while the witness is testifying shall be limited to advising on the legal rights of said witness. Why? Because this is a committee function. So, ganun din po dito. Ito pong ginagawa natin is also a committee function. The cross-examination, ang purpose po ng cross-examination dito is just to ask or just to clarify questions. Hindi pa po ito yung talagang trial proper wherein we can cross-examine thoroughly the witnesses. Thank you.
Rodriguez.
Madam Chair, there is here a statement that in our rules, only members can ask questions, and I would refer now to Section 7. Committee finds, and then the committee shall conduct a hearing and examination and cross-examination by members of the committee. Very clear. However, Section 7 shall obey the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. The Bill of Rights, Madam Chair, Article 3, provides that the right to be heard by himself or herself or to counsel is inviolable. It is in paragraph, in section, in the rules, in the Bill of Rights, is in the section on Section 2, and then also on custodial Section 2 and Section 4. So, Mr. Chairman, I am saying that we just have to give the right, otherwise there will be no due process. If only the members can ask, we should allow, can I finish first, Madam Chair?
Right.
I have allowed my good chair to finish, so let me finish my manifestation. So therefore, Madam Chair, it is very clear that counsels should be allowed to cross-examine. Now, the issue here is that the rules provide that they submit the questions to the chairman. Will the chairman have the discretion to read or not? Or everything that will be given to the chairman will be read?
To answer the question,